Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So today I thought I'd just do something a little bit different. I went to film this video and there was a lot of background noise, so I thought I could try and do a voiceover instead. The makeup we're doing today is a very bronze, glowy, summery look. I thought I'd start off today by showing you a close-up of my skin. For reference, I've got combination to oily, acne-prone skin. As you can see here, I've got quite a number of breakouts and scars, and this video has been filmed in just natural light. Firstly, I'm going to go in with the Milani Conceal and Perfect Foundation. This is in the shade 03 Light Beige. I'm going to be taking this onto a Lily England F2 brush. I also thought that I actually still had some fake tan left over, however, as you'll see, I definitely didn't. Before this video, I'd done all of my skincare and I haven't used any primer on my skin. I'm going to start by taking 1.5 pumps on the back of my hand, then going to work that into my brush from the back of my hand and then start applying it to my face. I like to do this in sort of patting and swiping motions. As you can see here, it definitely wasn't a colour match, but don't worry, I will just work it down my neck a bit later on. This is how my skin now looks with one layer of the foundation on. As you can see, it's done quite a good job of cancelling out a lot of the redness on my face. I'm then just going to go ahead and take another half a pump on the back of my hand just to see how much we can build up the coverage. You can probably also see I don't have any foundation directly under my eyes. I like to leave this free just for concealer, just because I do get quite creasy under eyes. This is now how my skin's looking with a couple of layers of that foundation on. As you can see, it's covered up a lot of the redness, as I said, and you can still see some blemishes through it. I'm now going to take the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser Multi-Use Concealer in the shade 01 Light directly under my eyes. I'm then going to take a bit of the concealer from the applicator onto my finger and start patting that underneath both of my eyes. I find this concealer really lightweight and creamy. It doesn't cake under my eyes and it's really good for cancelling out all that redness. I won't be priming my eyelids today before eyeshadow, so I will just take some of the concealer onto my eyelid just to also cancel out the redness and purple tones. Now that I'm done with my foundation and my concealer, I'm going to go in with some powder. This is the Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. I'm going to take a small amount of this onto a very old number 7 brush. One end is angled for contour and one has a powder end. I'm just going to dip my brush in just to get a small amount onto it. Then I'm going to take what's on my brush into the lid and I'm just going to swirl that around to work it into the brush. Although I tend to have oilier skin, I do just like to focus this on the middle T-zone section of my face because I don't like to look too matte. This is a really great powder just to do a light dusting over your face just to set your makeup. I don't like baking anywhere on my skin, especially not under my under eyes. I find that creases a lot more. I'm then going to go ahead and do a light contour on my face. The shade I'm using is very warm, so it's not that much of a contour, it's more of a bronzer. This is the Girl Pro Conceal High Definition Concealer in the shade Toast. I'm firstly going to take the concealer on the high points of my cheekbones. I like to do it there just because I've got quite a round face. By keeping the contour and bronzer higher, it will stop your face from looking too round. I'm then going to go ahead and take a little bit underneath my lip. This will give the illusion of a shadow under my lip to try and make it look a bit bigger. And then, of course, got to try and create a jawline. I like to take a small amount onto my forehead just to tie all of the tones in and then we'll blend it out. I'm then going to go ahead and take my Lily England C1 brush. I really like this brush for contouring because it's got a flat edge to it. I find the flat edge really useful for trying to shape out those cheekbones, as well as that it's really good for nose contour. I'm just going to use that same concealer to now contour my nose. You can see I'm using the flat edge of the same brush just to blend out that contour. I'm then just going to take the Physicians Formula Sunkissed Butter Bronzer just to warm up the rest of my skin. This one smells like coconut. I'm then going to take that bronzer onto a Lily England F1 brush. Any powder brush like this is great because it's quite large, it will cover quite a big surface area. Now that we've bronzed up the skin, I'm going to go in with some blusher. This is in the shade Luster. I'm going to take the blusher onto a large Real Techniques powder brush. I love this blusher because it has more of a nudie peachy tone rather than a pink. And just like with the contour and the bronzer, I'm going to keep this quite high instead of on the apples of my cheeks. I'm then going to hop off camera and do my eyebrows. To do this, I use the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 4.5, and then I follow that up with 24-hour brow setter. My eyebrows are very uneven, so this does take me quite a while. And this is how they turned out. Now that that's the base done, I'm going to go in and do my eyes. This is the Vieve Essentials palette from the brand Vieve. That is Jamie Genevieve's brand. As you can see here, I'm pretty devastated. I dug my finger into one of the shades. And this is all of the beautiful shades in the palette. Firstly, I'm going to take this Real Techniques fluffy brush and go into the shade So Shy. That was a tongue twister. I've just got a bit of concealer left on my lids, so I'm just going to use this neutral shade just to set that. Now that my lid's set, I'm going to take this Lily England E1 brush. It's kind of like a mini crease brush, and I'm going to dip into the shade Buff. I'm going to use this as a bit of a transition shade, and I start by just putting that into my crease. It's always best to place your brush where you want the deepest pigment to be. Then you can just blend that product out into the rest of your crease. Once that's all blended out, I'm then going to take the shade Chow, it's more of a mustard yellow this one, onto that exact same Lily England brush, and I'm going to focus this above the crease. I'm now going to take a Lily England E2 brush. I'm going to take this into the shade Delicious in the palette. This one's really nice, it's like a deep chocolate brown. And with that shade on my brush, I'm just going to take that and deepen at my outer corner. I'm then going to switch back to my Lily England E1 brush, and I'm going to dip into both the shades Buff and Delicious. I'm going to use this into my crease just to deepen that up a little bit more. And with the same brush, I'm going to go back into those two shades again, Buff and Delicious, and take that just under my lower lash line. I'm then just going to take the shade Thea onto my finger and start patting that onto my lid. This is kind of like a brown shimmer, but it's quite chunky, so I definitely recommend doing this with either a wet brush or your finger. And then finally for the shadows, I'm just going to take the lighter shade Glimmer into my inner corner on that same Lily England E1 brush. Before I apply my mascara, I'm just going to take my Kevyn Aucoin eyelash curlers and curl my eyelashes. I'm then going to take my absolute favourite mascara. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational. You'll see here how long it makes my eyelashes. This is how my eyelashes look with just one coat of that mascara. Just to make my skin look a bit more glowy, I'm going to take the MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in the shade Soft and Gentle on a Lily England C2 brush. I think I said this in my last video, but I really like this highlighter because I've got quite textured skin, and this doesn't accentuate it too much. I'm just taking this on the high points of my cheeks, onto my nose, my cupid's bow, and then a bit on my forehead as well. Now I'm going to take the Vieve Modern Lip Definer in the shade Velvet Sands. I'm just going to use this to outline my lips, and then I will just add some Vaseline into the centre. Just for reference as well, Velvet Sands is currently the lightest shade that they do in the lip liner, so you can kind of get an idea of what it would look like if you have a similar skin tone. Here's a close-up of my skin. Again, this is in natural light, so you can see exactly what it would look like in person. I absolutely love the way that my skin's looking. It's just so nice, glowy and fresh. I really hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. And please comment down below what you'd like to see from me next. But until then, bye!